Flank Baptiste, yeah, flank Baptiste.
Oh, there you go, mate. There's one. Oh, that's two.
One of them. What side?
Something. I don't want him. Go for it. That's three. That's four.
Hey everyone, I'm Lunar and I'm a top 500 Ana and Baptiste player, and today I want to go over when and how to use Baptiste's amplification matrix. This is a question I get quite a lot in my stream, so I thought I'd make a video on how to use it to its full potential. So to just jump straight in, I'd like to go over some basic stats so that you know what and how the matrix works. So it does 2 times or 100% extra damage amplified to any projectiles that go through the window, I call it, and it also doubles any healing as well. So Ana and Baptiste's own heals can get amplified through this matrix. Its maximum range is 35 meters. That's where you can place it, and you can also rotate it if you press the ultimate button again. So you can have it go straight in front of you, or if you're playing on the side of your team, you can put it in front of your team, and it lasts for 10 seconds. And it's one of the faster charging ults in the game, with an average of like 60 seconds to maybe even 45 seconds generation time. So I've come up with 3 key distinctions on how to use Baptiste's window, and they are on your own, so like on a slight off angle to your team, with the team, so something like a Fire Strike, a Rissipal combo, and a complete OTF window flank. So OTF means on the flank, so it's a pretty high risk, high reward. Wouldn't really recommend it in most situations, but sometimes it can really pay off. So the first type of window is the self window, I like to call it. And this is where you take just a slight off angle to your team. So you're not like crazy behind the enemy lines or anything, but you are taking a slight off angle to draw some attention from the other team, because the window is really loud and it does a lot of damage. So lots of people from the other team tend to look at you while you're using the amplification matrix. So sort of the goal of the self window is to, as I said, draw attention from the other team to allow your team to maybe push in. But maybe also if you can see an opportunity to pick up like a solid kill, using window to pick up 1 kill is pretty much always worth it, in my opinion. And maybe you'll be able to pick up a second. Now, quite often you've got about a 5-second like window of time when you use the amplification matrix to pick up a kill before the enemy team start to look at you and pressure you down. Now, when you get pressured, because you will, you should, you want to try and get out if you can with your boots and your shift ability, which is your self heal. But if you must, you can use your lamp, which is your immortality field. Lots of different names for these abilities, to keep yourself alive. Now, obviously, that's a worst case situation, but if you think that you can maybe secure another kill using the lamp on yourself, and there's no key abilities from the other team that you need to save the lamp for, i.e. Sigma Ul or Graviton, then feel free to use the lamp on yourself. But honestly, the immortality field should pretty much always be used for your team, especially when the enemy team are running something like a Zarya Sig or something, where both of those ultimates really depend on you having that immortality field up. The second type of window I'd like to talk about is the, I guess, just called the team window. So this is one that you put in front of your team. I don't like to do this too often because it's really easy to just dodge if you're the enemy team. Like the Baptiste puts down the amplification matrix, then the enemy team just waits for it to be over, and that's that. That's a 10-second time window that you've bought for your team with the ult, but you've not achieved much else with it. But the main thing that you can do with your team specifically, especially at the moment, there's a double shield meta going around, so that's Rein Orisa or Sigma Orisa. But my favorite combo is Orisa Rein, because you've got the Orisa pull, which can suck the enemy teams together, and then you've got the Reinhardt Fire Strike, which is really, really good when it goes through the window because it does 100 damage. So when it goes through the amplification matrix, it does 200 damage, which means it can one-shot most of the characters in the game. So you can fully win fights off of just your window and a well-coordinated pull Fire Strike combo. So because the amplification matrix charges at pretty much the same speed as Nano Boost, I like to sort of use it like Nano Boost as well. So what I mean by that is you can throw it down if you think you'll need it. If you don't, it's fine. You can get a new one pretty quickly. Totally do not be afraid to use the window. And also remember that Baptiste is a healer and his right clicks do get double amplified when they go through the window. So you can definitely use Baptiste's window defensively to help heal your team. And you can also use it offensively, maybe with a second DPS like a soldier or a McCree to take a slight off angle and do some extra damage with the window. Now the last playstyle here is a little bit of a funky one. It's something I do quite a lot, and let's just say it's a high risk, high reward playstyle of OTF Baptiste flank windows. So on the flank windows, this isn't something I totally recommend, but honestly, if you can flank and get 2 kills, it's worth it. And like you can really divert a lot of attention. This definitely isn't something you want to be doing every game. But if you see an opportunity where this might happen, and you need to do a little bit of a risk assessment, so you need to think, if I die doing this, which is highly likely, am I going to be throwing the game? Or am I confident in my ability to pick up at least 2 kills doing this? That even if I do die, I will have secured 2 kills and essentially won the fight before it even starts. The OTF flank Baptiste playstyle is basically what makes me have the most fun with him, because it can actually work. And it can actually win games sometimes. I've definitely secured wins on games doing this. Now, I'm currently doing an unranked to GM on my stream, which you can check out in the description. And this works in the lower ranks quite well. So I'm talking about Plat, Diamond, and Low Masters. But as you get to the High Masters range, it gets a little bit harder. And I've rarely done this in top 500 games, just because it's just not worth it. It's too high risk. The main thing I'd encourage you to take away from this video is to just be creative with how you use Baptiste's window. For example, like May's Blizzard ultimate is a projectile, and it actually does 100 damage to characters with just the natural freeze, like the damage over time effect. So if you were to throw the Blizzard through Baptiste's window, it actually does 200 damage, which is enough to pick up kills. So just try and be creative with Baptiste's window, and also Ash's Dynamite with window fully secures kills all the time. That's a really good combo to start fights out as well. So look out for that. As I mentioned earlier, you can push the ultimate button twice, which is once to bring up the window and twice to rotate it 90 degrees. Yeah, 90 degrees. So you can put it in front of your team when you're from the side of your team. So this is pretty useful if you want to stay safe and not expose yourself, but want to do like a team window combination, like a Ryan Orisa Paul Fire Strike type thing, but without putting yourself in danger. So just be careful of widow angles. Make sure you're playing line of sight really well to maximize your uptime. So it basically just means die less. And you can still get the windows out. Remember, it goes 35 meters, so you really don't have to expose yourself too much to get windows in certain positions. I just want to quickly show you a clip from the Overwatch League. Now, this is one of my favorite uses of Baptiste's window, where the Bap puts the window in front of the Bastion behind the point on Gibraltar. And this is a really, really good example of the sort of team flank window. So even though the Bap isn't with the Bastion here, the Baptiste isn't using the window at all for himself, but instead for the Bastion.
The Vancouver Titans, such a hyped up team coming from across the ocean. Tizzy is down already though. They've lost their main tank, and Architect is bringing the thunder from the back. It's a rain of bullets, and the Titans can't do a thing about it. Only a few seconds left. Solminsu is removed from the face of the map, and Architect is time to get his hands dirty. Axel throws a Blizzard down, but it's not enough. Twilight, the last hope for the Titans, steps up. He is felled. Tizzy now gets to the point, but Slime is already removed from the fight. The wrecking ball is down at Janu. He can't touch. He is walled off. The door is shut in their face. A golden stage. A golden stage. And finally, a golden crown. The San Francisco Shock, like a 2019 Overwatch League champion.
So if you have any more questions about Baptiste, I'm live every day apart from Monday and Wednesday over on Twitch at 4 p.m. UK time. Yeah, I play top 500 Baptiste and Anna, so feel free to hop into the chat and ask me any questions. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something. If you want another video on Baptiste, I've done 5 underrated Baptiste tips to help you climb. This is a really good video. It's one of my favorites. So you can check that out in the card in the top right. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my stream at some point. And yeah, take care. Subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.